My name is Kurdt Greenwood, and I'm an animal behavior specialist, wildlife filmmaker, and conservationist. I've dedicated my life to working with animals, connecting with the cutest to the deadliest creatures on this beautiful planet we call home. My mission is to bridge the gap between humans and animals with a calm and confident approach, taking audiences closer to the heart of the action than ever before. Join me on this new epic adventure as we hit the open road to visit some of the most beautiful nature reserves, game reserves and animal sanctuaries in Africa. We're heading right into the heart of nature. We will come face to face with some of the world's most dangerous and most fascinating animals. We'll cross paths with the country's most lovable animal characters. Along the way, we'll meet the incredible humans who work to protect our wildlife. Let's find out what it really takes to conserve these incredible creatures and the precious natural world that surrounds us. Follow me into the wild for this incredible journey. This is Africa's wildest sanctuaries. Our journey starts in the Eastern Cape, where we explore the vast and untamed beaches of a coastal sanctuary. Today we are hoping to track down some of the elusive lizards, deadly snakes and bird life that call this rugged landscape home. Let's see what these wild dunes have in store. We've just arrived at our first location, a beautiful coastal sanctuary right here in the heart of the Eastern Cape. A wilderness where you think there's not a lot of wildlife, but you can see tracks and signs everywhere. So I'm going to take you back a couple of years ago where I tracked down 2 Cape cobras right here in the dunes, and after that we're going to go explore this vast wilderness. The springtime, it looks to me like we've got a female and a male together. Springtime is mating time. And that's the only time you'll see these 2 snakes. Look at this one just starting off now. Incredible. Yo, they're fighting. It's a bit of a fight. This is incredible. A male and a female. Look at this, look at this. Yo. 2 cobras. 2 cobras at the same time. Yo. Try and get this one under control. Now what's happening here is I first thought it was one snake, but this is a female and this is a male over here, and they were doing their little ritual getting ready to mate. But it's a very, very close thing that could happen. When they're mating like this, they could also turn on each other and actually eat each other. Cobras are known to eat other snakes. So even though when they're mating, there's always that risk that the one can turn on the other one and start eating him. So you have to be very, very careful if you're the lady or the male when you're doing your mating thing, because it could in 1 second turn into a feast. You see the little tail is wagging, she's warning me a bit. Look how stunning that is. It's incredible, such a privilege to work with both at the same time. Now what I want to try and do here that I've never done before is put my hand on both of them at the same time. This one's very alert. It's huffing. It's huffing. Got my hand on both snakes. It's quite nerve-wracking, but if you're very gentle, look at that, I'm stroking both of them. They both have gone into a state of thanatosis, just by a touch. Just giving them light scratches, you can see, they're both completely flat. That is really more remarkable, look at that. Both gone completely soft. I can actually see if I can turn the snake around to camera just to show you how docile she's gone. Look at that, just a little rub. Heads right next to each other, little gentle rubs. Just by a touch. One moment they try and kill you, next moment by gentle touch, you knock them out and they go into a state of thanatosis. You're completely relaxed. Not completely asleep, still conscious of what's going on, but they are now in that primitive instinct is kicked in where they shut off. And they pretty much can be very gently approached and worked with now. Not something that you should try at home, but through understanding of animal behavior, I've gotten to the point where I can handle them like this.
What a privilege to have worked so closely with a pair of Africa's most deadly cobras. Today we are on the lookout for more incredible creatures hidden within these vast dunes. After a long hike, scanning every corner of the landscape, a lucky sighting in the thicket reveals our first discovery of the day.
No way, there's a chameleon here! There's a chameleon here! Check us!
Look at what we found! A southern dwarf chameleon. This is the first time I've ever found this species. Now I've almost caught every single species of dwarf chameleon, from the Cape dwarf to the Knysna dwarf to the Midlands and the Transvaal dwarf, but the southern dwarf I've never caught, right here in the Eastern Cape. It's one of the bulkier ones of the chameleon families in the dwarf family. They are small, but as far as a small chameleon goes, this is quite a big one. Look at him. He's not worried. He almost just climbs onto my finger. Not worried at all. He's probably never seen a human before in his life. We're very remote here, but just look at the beautiful markings and colorations on him. Now the dwarf chameleons are indigenous to the African continent, and they find all along southern Africa and Madagascar. They give birth to live babies. They're really special little animals and very proudly South African. So we should be very proud to have them. They're in our gardens. Look at him. Look at this little guy. I give him a little scratch. He's even lifting his little chin there. Very docile, no worries. So for some reason in folklore in Africa they believe these guys are venomous, but they're not at all. He's a sweet little guy. Look at the beautiful colors. He's got a bit of the green, bit of the yellow, so he's camouflaging nicely here. And he comes out here to try and catch insects that's drinking nectar from these flowers. Just look at him. He disappears as soon as he touches any of this green vegetation. The southern dwarf chameleon, can you believe it? A real live dragon. And look, he's not too phased. He'll climb onto my hand. He's not worried at all. He's not even huffing and puffing. Sometimes they'll huff and puff a little bit. He's looking at me. The funny joke is that these guys can see the future and the past at the same time, because the one eye can look in the front and the other eye can look at the back. So their little old eyes can rotate 360 degrees, so they can see everything. So both eyes and both sides can do something completely different. So it's almost like two different animals on the one side and the other side. This eye is looking over there, this eye is looking over there. Incredible little animal. A true little dragon right here in the dunes. And to think we're in this very isolated environment, that we still have these beautiful pockets where these animals can thrive. You know, we know that these chameleons aren't doing that well in city build-up areas because of habitat destruction. But it's nice to know that we still have these isolated pockets of nature where these guys can thrive. And I mean, he's just, you can't get more beautiful than this. Just look, oh, you saw an insect. These guys, if they're not used to humans, they somehow catch an insect right off your finger if they want to. And they've got a long sticky tongue that they catch the insect and they swallow the animal whole. And swallow it down. Okay, let's put you back on your thing. Look at him, look at the prehensile tail gripping on there. And we'll let him go on his way. Our first animal on the journey to the African sanctuaries, and it's a southern dwarf. This is a great start. Woo! We were incredibly lucky to spot that little master of disguise. But now we're on the hunt for a shy yet deadly creature that's common in the Eastern Cape vegetation. The juvenile boomslang, known for its stunning bright emerald green eyes. These snakes are naturally elusive and often misunderstood. While they're slow to strike and will only do so when they truly provoke, they're no less dangerous.
After a lot of effort and a lot of searching, we finally found our first snake. You might not even pick it up right away because it's so camouflaged. It looks like it's become one with this branch. I was out just scanning the thickets looking for this particular species, but actually an adult version, and this is a juvenile version. It is the boomslang, Africa's most venomous snake, drop for drop. Only 1 milligram of the snake's venom will be fatal in a fully grown adult. But they don't produce that much. They only produce a couple of milligrams, and that's why they're not as deadly as a black mamba. And it's a hemotoxic venom, so it's a blood thinning venom. So you can live for a good few hours to a 24-hour to even a couple of days period, and eventually start hemorrhaging out of all your orifices. This is a beautiful juvenile, probably about close to a year old. Boomslang, look at that, and he's very nicely settled. He just wants to move off. I'm using this branch to control him if he wants to move in.
Boomslangs are back-fanged, but don't let that fool you, they can still very easily bite you. So not a snake you should take lightly, and especially in such a remote location. But look at that coloration on him. You see the turquoise speckles on the body, and you see the you gotta be aware, I've gotta be alert. He wasn't gonna strike me there, but I don't really want him to touch me, because like I said, they've got large back fangs, so he can open his mouth 90 degrees and very easily bite me. Now this is one of South Africa's most famous snakes. Everyone knows the boomslang. Look at that. Just look at this. Emerald green eye. He just wants to climb. Oh, he's inflating the throat a bit there. So I've got to read the signals once again. Look at that. How stunning is that though? He wants to climb up my hand. He just wants to use it as another branch. What a stunning snake though. Boomslang inflate the throat. When cobras make a hood, they inflate their throat to warn you. So that's what I'm looking out for here. Just remarkable. So in the next year, he'll start changing color. Now the female will go on like an olive brown color, and the male will change in the Eastern Cape where we're now like a yellow black color. Up north they'll go green, and in the desert areas they can even go like a brick color. So there can be a variety of shades of colors. Just because this is a juvenile boomslang doesn't mean it's any less deadly than an adult. They are born with their venom. So this guy is already highly toxic, and a very lucky find. You don't often see juveniles at this age, so this is almost a year old, so he's made it already through most of the hostile bits. So he's at the age now where he can start eating small birds and stuff, and that's what he's doing here in the thicket. We're right here on the dunes in this little green belt, and there's a lot of breeding little birds, and that's what he's hunting now. When they're really small and just born, they have to eat a lot of small lizards and things, which is not as easy to find. But look at that, he's settling quite nicely. Such a stunner. Let me see, he's sniffing. Sniff, sniff, sniff. He's checking me out. Incredible eyesight. He's inflating the throat. You can see the inflating of the throat a little bit there. This is a remarkable little snake. The most beautiful eyes you've ever seen. The boomslang. Turquoise freckles and speckles. I actually think the juvenile coloration is even more beautiful than the adult. What a lucky find. I was looking for a big boomslang, but trust you me, somewhere on our adventure we're going to find a big one. But we're lucky, we found a juvenile, and you don't often find these. So a great find and a beautiful snake, and he will grow to become a large snake and catch a lot of birds out here, and hopefully one day have a lot of babies. Look at that. You move off, little guy. I'm not going to disturb him too much more. It's been a real honor. Yes, I can't, it's such a beautiful animal. It's such a special moment to share with them. I almost don't want it to ever end. Even though they're so venomous, just look at that. Look how he's now kind of settled. Those green eyes are spectacular. Wow. Okay, well that's it. I'll let him go on his way. Thanks for the moment, buddy. Yes, what adventure. What a start to this adventure. Our first snake, a juvenile boomslang. There's still one more snake that I'm looking to track out here. One of Africa's most notorious ambush predators. And we finally get the first clue that we're on the right track. Puff-adder snakeskin left on the rocks. Known for its lightning fast strike and potent venom, this is a snake that commands respect. Often found lying perfectly still on the ground. This brilliantly camouflaged snake often goes unnoticed until it's too late. A female puff-adder, right here on the minute. Big female, a big female. Woo! I'm just going to settle it down so we can get a nice shot. She's a little bit charged, she's been basking. Going to settle it down so we can get a shot of her calm. We found it. We found a female puff-adder. Can you believe it? Amongst all of this, look at her. She's just in a frozen position now. Completely got a shock. I was top of the little ridge there. We're in this area. Look at all these shell middens. This is filled with shells and stone tools and everything. Look at this puff-adder just sitting frozen. Look at this. Pottery. All kinds of pottery. Stone tools. A giant big midden right here on the dunes. And there's a beautiful female puff-adder. It's still early morning, so she's coming cruising out to find a spot to bask. And if she thinks I'm not seeing her now, as soon as I touch her, ooh, look at that. Now she's alert. Now she's alert. Look at the tongue coming out. That is incredible. A beautiful female puff-adder, man. You know, it's not always guaranteed that you find snakes, and we've put in quite a lot of effort. It was a long mission to get here, a big hike. I'm going to try and gently pick her up. The nice thing is when you find snakes in the morning like this, they're just coming out to sun themselves and warm up. And how about this landscape, you know? It's such an incredible place to find such a beautiful primitive animal. I've got a little stick here. I don't know what her temperament is. She looks like she might, okay. Oh, look, okay, there we go. Look at that. Oh, look at her waking up. Yo, that is incredible. Man, it's a fat female. She is fat and really good condition. Look at that. Isn't that just one of the most beautiful snakes? What a way to start off this adventure. To find a beautiful female puff adder in such a remote location. I've got to be extra careful because we are so remote. You do not want to get bitten by one of these guys. I mean, she's quite sick. Ooh, okay. She's huffing a little. There she. Ooh, there comes the huff. So she's. Okay, come back. Yo, she was quite chilled at first. See, you just gotta come in very gently. Try and pick her up again. Look at that. Woo-hoo! Listen to that huffing. She's huffing. She's telling me, don't you mess with me. Incredibly potent cytotoxic venom. So tissue dissolving venom. Incredibly painful. Not a snake I want to get bitten by, and especially not on the first adventure. So we're going to give you a lot of respect. Just incredible to be in such an ancient environment and having to deal with a puff adder this beautiful. We're so lucky to have found such a beautiful female. Ooh, she's got that S-quail. She's in a bit of a strike pose. You gotta always be alert. She's very gentle, but she's definitely aware. Oh, she wants to face me. You gotta be able to read their body language, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Let me pick her up again. Look at that, man! Africa's most feared viper, the puff adder. And you see, she's huffing and puffing a bit, giving me like, oh, don't mess with me. But she's not aggressive in any way. She hasn't struck out yet. I haven't given her the chance. And that name puff adder comes from that sound. They suck in all the air, and then they puff out all the air. Ooh, look at that. You've got to be gentle when you move with your movements. You see snakes, they can, if you move too quick and too sudden, that's when you get bitten. Because that sudden movement is when they freak out. And it's always nice to have a little stick for them to climb. Look how she's now climbing. Puff adders will do this. They'll come out in the morning and sit and bask on sticks and things like that. And look at that. Look at that. She's like, what's this guy doing? I've never seen a human. We're so remote. We've hiked about 10 kilometers. You're not allowed to drive here. We had to stop our vehicle way before we entered this sanctuary. It's a highly protected area and it's brimming with wildlife. Everything from snakes to lizards to birds, even mammals, antelopes, everything. It's such an incredible sanctuary. And what a beautiful female puff adder to find. She's settling down quite a bit. The colors on her is just so amazing. Okay, let's put you down again. I want to see if I can just pick her up gently. You're going very slow. You see, no sudden movement. You've got to be ready to drop her. You come in very slowly. Let her move off a little. Look at this, look at this. This should never be tried at home, but look at that. A puff adder on the dunes on top of ancient stone tools and pottery, handling one of the oldest snake species and the most widely distributed puff adder found throughout Africa. And what a way to start the wild sanctuaries with the most common deadly snake of Africa, the puff adder. Look at that. Woo! Look at how calm she is now. See, my energy is calm. I'm settling. Ooh, ooh, oh. See, I've got to be able to read her. It's just slow movements, gentle movements. If I came in too fast and too hard, see, even my touch is very slow and very gentle. If you look closer, you can see all these keeled scales and these chevron markings. Very easy to identify. Ooh, when she's turning around to face me like that. So I'm constantly aware of her behavior and her movement. That's why I've never been bitten by any snake. Because I can feel it. I can feel the energy. And I can see, like, she's not happy with it. Look, so I had to let go there. And she's huffing. If I leave her. See, now if I went in to grab, that's dangerous. Now she's coiled herself up. This is in a strike pose. So I'm just going to move her around a little bit. And the way I know it's a female is the length of the tail. Females have short little tails, the males have long thick tails. So definitely a nice fat female. And this is quite a big adult female size for the Eastern Cape. They don't get much bigger. They can get a bit bigger. They can get to about 1.2 meters. This one is about 70, 80 centimeters, maybe 90. But a healthy fat specimen and a nice shiny scales. Just look at that. What a privilege to be able to do this. She is very aware. She's nice and warm. She's been basking in the sun, so I've got to be aware. These snakes can strike at 8 meters per second. So one of the fastest striking snakes. If the snake struck and I was within range, I could not pull away fast enough. So that's why I've got to read her body language the whole time. But the key to working with some of these deadly animals is to be calm and confident. What a beautiful snake, man. And no smell to him. Okay, alright, there you go, there you go. Puffing and puffing, puffing and puffing. Yes, what a... Woo! You see that? Too fast of a movement, too much, and that's the S strike. Listen to that. So if I move within a certain range here, that's when I'll get nailed. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. It's been a real privilege to start off with such a beautiful female. And you see, if you calm and collected and you don't push your boundaries too much, you can get away with quite a lot. But this is taking me many years to be able to do this. So I didn't do this the first day. So this was something that people should never attempt. And the reason I can do it is because I've dedicated my life to the conservation of animals and learning their behaviors. And through education and teaching people not to be scared of them, that's how we conserve them, and people don't want to kill them. And she's actually just a sweetheart, and all she wants to do is bask a little bit. She'll move off and she'll wait for some rodents to run past, and they're ambush hunters. They sit and wait in little holes and shrubs and bushes out there on the dunes and strike out and catch striped field mice, inject that cytotoxic venom, and then swallow their prey whole. So what a beautiful female. Yeah, you can go the other way, go the other way. There we go. Yes, what a beautiful female. Tickle, tickle, tickle. I'm going to leave her and I move off. Thanks, it's been a real honor and I'm looking forward to it. This is a good omen. This is a good start to this series.
The lesson I've learned from this beautiful female puff adder is that with the right approach, we can all coexist safely. And the more we learn, the less we fear. Next episode, we're off to visit Sean, one of South Africa's best freehandlers of venomous snakes. He'll demonstrate some of his remarkable skills with rattlesnakes, green mambas, Mozambique spitting cobras, and puff adders. Then we'll be heading off into the mountains to track down snakes that live on the rocky cliffs. Stay tuned to see what snakes we come face to face with.
South Africa, the cradle of mankind. Home to some of the deadliest snakes on Earth. And one man with a remarkable skill.
Ooh, gotta be careful with those 2-centimeter fangs.
Kurdt Greenwood faces the fangs we fear most.
What are you doing there? Looked like you wanted to actually work a fang in there, maybe. Ooh! Largest fangs found on any snake in the world.
With nothing but his bare hands, can he handle the deadliest snakes of South Africa? The Cape. One of the 6 floral kingdoms. Over 9,000 plant species thrive here. The botanic diversity exceeds that of even the richest tropical rainforest. This habitat plays host to an abundance of wildlife. In spring, the landscape is abloom. Insects congregate by the thousands to feast on the nectar-rich flowers. Birds, lizards, and amphibians prey on the insects. And maintaining this delicate natural balance, bigger, deadlier predators. Snakes. Wildlife expert Kurdt Greenwood is on a quest to find the deadliest snakes in southern Africa. His grandfather introduced him to the wild as a boy and taught him that all life is precious, even the lives of the creatures we fear most. He saved a puff adder from a farmhand's shovel when he was just 9 years old. He's been infatuated with deadly creatures ever since. An expert tracker, he knows precisely where these deadly creatures are most often found. To escape the heat of day, many creatures will seek shelter under rocks. Each stone he flips is a risk. With his fingers exposed to what lurks beneath, one wrong move could be fatal. Not only snakes lurk under these rocks, and Kurdt can't help but examine every creature he finds.
This is exactly what I was looking for. A nice hole where you can find a variety of different animals that hide away from the midday sun. Anything from puff adders to Cape cobras can be found in these holes. Even sometimes creepy crawlies like centipedes, spiders, and scorpions, and sometimes even bats on the sides of these kind of caves. I don't know how deep this goes. This is the Cape Victail. Not the most comfortable position to be working with one of Southern Africa's most deadly scorpions. Oh, just look at the venom coming out of the back of the stinger. I've got to be very alert here. It's actually sensing me and feeling me. The Buthidae family, and this is one of our most venomous scorpions found. It looks like she might be pregnant. She's quite swollen in the center of the body, you can see that. And you can see those pinches. Oh, she means business. She lifted that stinger up. Look at the size of that stinger. You can imagine she packs quite a lot of neurotoxic venom inside there. And if she had to sting me, I'd be in a lot of trouble. I would have to go seek some medical help. And I can actually see droplets of venom coming out. I don't want to disturb it too much, because out here in the middle of nowhere to get stung by this scorpion is not advisable. Ooh. But you just have to remain calm. When you give these primitive creatures the upper hand, the power, all you can do is stay calm. If I started freaking out now, I would get stung. She is a beautiful specimen. Look at that power, look at that grip. Just in a couple of limbs, they can hold on like that. They're designed to live out here in the rock crevices. And she's quite sweet, actually. She could sting me right now if she wanted to, but she's not doing it. She just wants to go away. Oh, that sting is so close to me. I'm gonna let her go now. And I'll put her back where she belongs.
Never trust a pretty face. The boomslang. Their primary prey, birds. They are drop for drop one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Its potent hemotoxic venom is slow to act. Symptoms could take hours to manifest. At first, headaches, nausea, dizziness. The victims become drowsy and confused. As the venom courses through the bloodstream, it causes catastrophic hemorrhaging in the brain and muscle tissue. Without treatment, the victim bleeds to death. Kurdt is determined to prove that the creatures we fear most aren't monsters. If treated with the respect they deserve, no one needs to get hurt. He believes knowledge can abolish fear.
Bright black and yellow Cape male boomslang. They crawl out onto these ledges to actually absorb the heat. It's still early in the morning. Look, guys, inflating the throat, making it double the size. They're called boomslang, which means tree snake, that they live in trees. But actually, out here in the Cape, they can also be found on these cliffs, these edges where you'll find birds' nests and all kinds of other rodents. And they love to come out in the morning sun and actually bask. And he just caught this guy for his little morning bath in the sun. Like, he's getting a little bit upset, but if I'm very gentle. Oh, look at that. Inflating that throat, coming for my face. Yo! He is very upset, and I do not want to get bit in the face. A very potent hemotoxic venom. Now, hemotoxic venom actually makes you bleed out of all your orifices in your body. So I'll start bleeding out of my eyes, out of my ears. And drop for drop, one of the most venomous snakes in Africa. Only 1 milligram of the snake's venom is required to have a negative effect on you. And if you don't get medical treatment, you will die within 24 hours to 3-day period. This is the safe range that I'm in now. If I go any closer than this, you could get me in the face. You don't want to get bit in the face by the snake. Calm down, calm down. Very relaxed. Let's try and get you. Oh, he's going to come back. It's all about reading their body language. And that snake, look at him. He knows I've got the back of his tail here. Ready to lunge at me. Incredible vision. Oh. Got him. That is incredible. The snake is really upset. Yo. He is not happy at the moment. Now he's fully charged. The sun. There we go. Let me starting to calm down a bit. Let's relax. Let's relax, my boy. Yo! The snake is upset with me. And it's not that he's even being that aggressive. He's just warning me. Leave me alone. And actually just bumping there against me. He's actually not even really biting me. He's just warning me. I'm gonna just see if I can calm him down a little bit. Normally these boomslangs, if you just handle him very gently for a little bit and he realizes that I'm actually not harming him, he's starting to settle a bit now already. Still checking me out, but you see the throat stopped inflating. Even these snakes that are so feared, that people think are so dangerous, 1 milligram kills a fully grown man. If you're so gentle, look, he's actually trying to climb up me now. Yo, he spotted my face again, thinks I wanted to bite him. I'm gonna be so aware. But I'm just gonna stay calm and relax. He's calming down a little bit. That's calming down. They're active day hunter. So with those big, large eyes, diurnal eyes, they actually hunt their prey down with speed. So anything from small rodents to birds to chameleons and lizards out here on these cliffs. And they grab onto their prey and chew their large back fangs into the prey and hold on, inject that very potent hemotoxic venom, and then swallow the prey in one go. Look at that, he's starting to relax now. See, not inflating the throat anymore. It's really hot. You couldn't have him any more charged than he is right now. And because snakes are cold-blooded, they use the sun to warm up, and when they fully charge like this by the sun, this is the time they go hunt. I've got a lot of respect for this boomslang. And it's quite an old boy. It's definitely probably about an 8 to 10-year-old male, looking at the length of the snake. And because it's a colorful black and yellow, the males are black and yellow and the females are more of a olivey brown color. So definitely a male, and he's quite old, and you can see he's quite big, and he's been living out here in the mountains for almost 8 to 10 years. Okay, boyki, let me try and put you back on the cliff.
While in search of the deadliest snakes in the Cape, Kurdt comes across a reptile common in these parts.
Look at what we found here. A tiny baby angulated tortoise. He doesn't have an egg tooth on him anymore, so he's a couple of months old. So he hatched probably like 3 or 4 months ago, still a tiny, tiny baby. Only 1 out of 20 of these babies will probably realistically make it to adult size. Not a deadly animal, but a real precious little creature, and plays a very important part of the ecosystem surrounded by all these deadly animals.
Finding snakes is no easy task, but South Africa teems with life.
The garden orb-web spider. You can find them in the middle of the wilderness, and you can find them in your garden. beautifully marked, intricate little spots and colorations, unique to each individual. Look at the strength of this web. Quite relax the spider. Look, I can be quite close. He feels a vibration on the web like this, and he thinks, ah, there's an insect in it. Look, he thinks there's something stuck. You see there? He's coming to bite me because he thinks I'm a moth. On their little legs, they hold on, and it's like fishing. They feel a vibration in the web, and they run, they bite, they inject their venom, and then they slowly digest the insect that they've just bitten.
The bushveld. Yellow grassland dotted with acacia. Ever growing from the reach of the giraffe. At the mercy of thunderstorms, heat waves, and regular drought, forging an existence here isn't easy. To survive, life in the bushveld has evolved to be bigger, tougher, stronger. On the surface, all seems calm. But there's a snake in the grass. The snouted cobra. Previously known as the Egyptian cobra, the snake believed to have killed Cleopatra. A symbol of royalty, deity, and immortality. As with other cobras, the snouted cobra has fixed front fangs. Like sharks, snakes will drop their fangs, replacing one with another. Opportunistic hunters, they will prey on anything small enough to swallow. Even other snakes. Favoring in particular the deadly puff adder. Victims are usually bitten in the lower leg at night. The neurotoxic venom causes pain, swelling, and blistering at the site of the bite. As it courses through the bloodstream, the respiratory system starts shutting down. Muscles weaken, swallowing and breathing become increasingly difficult. Without assisted ventilation, the victim suffocates to death. Cobras are adept tree climbers. In the early morning, exposed branches offer a perfect position to bask in the sun, spreading its impressive hood to catch more of the warming light. This heat will charge its cold-blooded body for the hunt at dusk.
Incredible. A monster cobra. Definitely a snouted cobra. There's no other cobra that gets that big in the bushveld area. He's actually climbing down this fig tree.
These snakes are deadly. Any mistakes could cost him his life.
Get some grip here. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Yo! Jeez, this is a big snake. A massive, massive snouted cobra. Actually quite intimidating when you get really close. It's actually quite wrapped in here. Just slow movements. Okay, I got him here now. Look at that. He touches the ground from up here. Wow. Oh! Yo! Wow. Look, he's making the hood. Whoa. Look at that. Massive boy. Wow. He's looking at me now. Ooh, okay. okay, sorry. Just be gentle. I'm not here to harm you. Check out, you're making the hood. Just telling me, don't mess with me. That sideways movement, it's typical of the Snouted cobra to give you a warning. Yo. You really have to stay so calm. I'm within striking range here. I'm giving him complete power. If he wanted to right now, he could bite me. I'm gonna try and do just a gentle touch, just to see if he's comfortable with me stroking. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. That is amazing. Such a big snake. I'm actually gonna, ooh, okay, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna just sit incredibly calm. You see, he hasn't made a hood yet. This is quite a bit dangerous. I think I'm gonna slowly move away here. Yo. It's just giving me a little bit of a warning to move out of the way. I mean, look at this. He's actually coming towards me, sniffing me. Look at him sniffing my hand. He's coming towards me again. He's actually coming to check out who am I, what am I. A snake this size is so powerful that he doesn't get manhandled like this by anything. Any animal out here would stay far away from him. So he's really puzzled, wondering, look at that, he's giving me a hood again. Yo! I just want to move him. This snake is so big. Just gently pick him up. The snake is so big. I mean, I can feel this is almost 5 kilograms easily. Look at that massive hood that he makes. Wow. Ooh. We don't want to get you upset. Just a slight little stroke. Look at that. He actually likes it. Oh, no, he didn't like it too much. Sorry, boy. Just a gentle one. Just rubbing him gently. Look at that. Gentle stroke. He's actually stopped and enjoying it now. Just move this rock out of the way. Look at this. Look at that stroke. Flattening the head. Oh, this is nice. Oh, is this nice? Look at that. He's flattening his hood like he's loving it. Oh, is that nice? That's something really amazing about these very old, big, massive cobras, whether it's the big king cobras or these big snouted or Egyptian cobras. When they get really old and really big, they seem to change a bit. They seem to tolerate humans a lot more. When you look at the younger, smaller cobras, they strike viciously. It takes a lot to calm them down. With these big boys, they give you a warning, make a big hood, huff at you a little bit, but as long as you don't force yourself on them or actually push them or hurt them, they actually just leave you.
After the mating season in spring, when the snakes pair only briefly to mate, the female will lay between 8 and 30 eggs and then leave them to hatch on their own. From the moment they hatch, the young snakes are hooded, venomous, and perfectly capable of killing with a single bite.
So I want to see his length one more time. I mean, this snake is big and he's heavy. Look at that. I'm 186. So he looks like he's just a bit, he's about the same height. So he's about 1.8, so close to 2 meters, but very heavy bodied. Lift him one more time, yeah, look at this. Look at that. Wow. Look at the size of that snake. He's actually sniffing the air. It's like, what's going on here? Wow, look at that. Whoa! Just checking me out. Are we gonna put you back in the tree, old boy? Ooh, he's checking me out. You always have to be so aware of them. Still giving me a hood, a little bit of a warning, but very gentle. Don't bite me. Ooh. He's sniffing me. Yo. Look at that. What are you doing there? Looked like he wanted to actually work a fang in there, maybe. Okay, I mean, the key is to always stay calm. I'm getting a little bit nervous, so this is a good time to let him go. If he bites me there, I would be in serious trouble. Check, he's just checking me out. Right near my heart. Okay, back into the tree here. We can live out the remainder of his beautiful life. Now that was truly one of my more intense moments. I'm normally very calm when I work with these animals, but my heart's starting to race a bit. To give that snake so much trust, such a primitive animal, so much trust, to let him sniff me so close to my vital organs, takes quite a lot, even for me that's worked with him for many years. But he was absolute star, completely calm, made a bit of a hood, warned me a couple of times. But look at that, he just goes this way and give him a last touch. And I'm so glad I shared that moment with such an ancient, old, looks like a male to me, Snouted cobra in the bushveld of Africa.
This harsh, unforgiving terrain saw man take his first tentative step. As a species, we've quickly learned to watch every footfall for danger. Kurdt is walking in the footprints of the first man, and the same dangers await him today. The puff adder. Their Latin name, Bitus areatans, means striking violently. Widely distributed throughout the country and Africa. They are most active at dusk and dawn, and are often found basking on footpaths. Practically invisible in the golden light, many bites result when they're stepped on by locals walking to and from work. Oblivious to the signature huffing noise that the puff adder issues in warning. Razor-sharp, front-hinged fangs measure 2 centimeters. They strike in 1/4 of a second. Arguably the fastest strike for any snake in the world. They are responsible for more bites and resulting fatalities than any other snake in South Africa. Potent cytotoxic venom causes excruciating pain and deterioration of tissue, delivering up to 750 milligrams in a single bite. Survivors endure skin grafts, amputations, and grotesque scarring.
Look at the Bushman paintings over here. Can't believe it, they're everywhere. There's a puff adder. Listen to him huffing. This is a massive puff adder. Obviously trying to get away from the sun. Don't want to get bit in the face by this. Yo! I don't want to get bit by a snake this size. I've got him. Got to be careful with those 2 centimeter fangs. Here we go. Yo, look at the color on this male. That is gorgeous. Incredible. He is incredibly upset with me. Yo, look at that. In strike pose. These snakes can strike up to 10 meters per second, so way faster than I can move. Listen to that huffing. You can see the keeled scales, the rough scales on this guy. Definitely, look at that esquel. They do this and they strike forward and they throw out those fangs. Look at how he's moving like a caterpillar up here. That's to conserve energy. You see the long tail at the back? That tells me it's a male. And puff adders, the males have a longer tail than the females. Yeah, he's big. and he's very, very angry with me. Now, puff adders are notorious for being very aggressive. When you hear that huffing and puffing, it actually deters most animals not to come near him. But you see, he hasn't actually struck out at me yet. Let's give him a bit of a tickle mid-body. Look at that. Look at this. That is incredible. Look, he's calming down. Just with a touch. So he's still huffing a bit, but look at that. A bite from a puff adder this size, the pain is unmatched. Similar to sticking your arm into boiling oil. The puff adder is by far one of the most common snakes, and the reason is they give birth to live babies. And they can give birth to loads of babies. So when you go out looking for animals, and snakes in particular, your chances are pretty high at finding a puff adder before you find any other venomous snake. Look at that, he's in the squirrel. Now he's going to coil up. He's still trying to move away. Yo, look at that. Most beautiful puff adder I've seen in my whole life. Bright yellow with an orange head. He sucks in air and he forces all that sound that you hear is coming through those big nostrils that you see in the front. Yo, look, he's standing around. Yo, look at that. Yo, nice angry. That's a bit of anger showing towards, because I'm actually pushing it too far, I'm irritating him too much. But look if I stand still again. And he can bite through my clothes. His fangs are large enough to bite through my pants, but he doesn't actually want to bite me. He just wants to move off. Look at this mid-body. I'm very slow and very gentle, even though he's huffing. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah. Africa's most common venomous snake. Just have to be careful. Put you down slowly again, very gently. If I'm not aggressive towards him, I can actually step right next to him, look very slowly and calmly. I move my foot. And he can actually bite through my pants if he wanted to, but all he wants to do is get away. That body, I pick him up gently. He's huffing and puffing, but he's not doing anything. He's got such a bad reputation for being one of the most aggressive snakes. He sounds aggressive, but in actual fact, he's not really. Yeah? Sorry, buddy. Look. You don't want to be touched there. He doesn't want to be touched anymore. You get a little tickle. Look at that. Tickle, 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 tickle. Look at that, all along the body. All he wants to do is move away. Beautiful. When he sees my face, he can smell me, and he gets upset again. Wow. You can see these little sand people are really small people to be able to get in here and paint. Now, the only way I could think they would paint is probably lying on their stomach unless they were small enough to sit here, but I mean, it's really small for me to get in here. When you come really close to these paintings, you actually see quite a lot of detail. I can see there's something like a bow and an arrow or a spear in each one of their hands. You can see they're holding something. You can see they all made the calves look a lot larger on all these. There must be a sign of strength and power. Really amazing to find this ancient history right here in the mountains. All these beautiful, beautiful rock formations. Quite an eerie feeling sticking your hands into these holes, but I'm pretty sure there's something in here. Just need to get in there. Okay, I've got it. Oh, look at this. We're not going to take them too far out because they're quite sensitive to the sun. Luckily, we're still in the cave here. Look at this. Just want to get a grip on him. He's trying to bite me there. Egyptian free-tailed bat. You see the tail is free from the skin. Most of your other bat species have the skin tail covering all the way to the end. You can see it's got like a little mouse tail hanging freely. You can see those big insectivorous teeth. So these are insect hunters. See the big ears? They've actually got a bit of like flappy skin around the mouth. Lots of people actually say they look like bull mastiffs. So they call them the bull mastiff bats, this family of free-tailed bats. You see the little hooks at the end. You can see the beautiful little feet. It looks a lot like a mouse. And you see the little free hanging tail. And that's where the name free-tailed bat comes from. Very sensitive ears.
They obviously use echolocation to catch all kinds of insects out here. See if I pull the wing open very gently. Look at that, look how big this wing is. Look at that membranous skin. There's actually like a skin, like a leathery skin that helps them to fly, and they're very agile and great flight. And these bats are great at climbing into all these cracks, little gaps in caves, even found around human habitation where they'll climb into the bricks, in between corrugated sheets. So they're quite a common bat species. These very sharp teeth, and you can see it's got quite big open eyes. They don't rely much on their eyesight. They mostly come out obviously as the sun is setting, and then they go out and hunt. And you normally find them in quite big family groups. And they would have one baby normally in midsummer. They will hold on to their body. It's very, very cute. Very sensitive little creatures. And truly what nightmares are made of for some people. But look how he's climbing on my hand. Look at that. Do you see how he climbs? Look at this. He actually climbs with those front. He uses those front little hooks to actually pull himself onto these rocks, and he can climb right to the top. Look at that. Oh, sweet, man. Don't bite me, please. Look at that. He's actually climbing all over me. Wow, what an experience. Don't bite me, please don't bite me. Oh, wow, look at that. Sniffing, checking out the world. Truly one of the most amazing little mammals on the planet. They look like a mouse, but they're not really. They've got beautiful wings, and they glide at night, and they hunt these insects with this echolocation, make these high thrilling sounds. Just truly a marvel of nature, how these little bats have evolved to live around these kind of cave areas. I'm going to give you an example of how they climb a cave. Climb up. Look at this. The guy that actually uses this claws, look at that, that is incredible. Look at how he uses the hooks, and he uses the tail for a bit of balance. Look at that. It actually grips on a complete vertical slit of rock. Completely evolved and designed to live out here in these caves. He doesn't even want to bite me anymore. He's actually settled. Oh, he's showing me a bit of teeth. Okay, cute little fella. We're not here to harm you. Look how precious that is. It's okay. I'm going to put him back where I found him, and maybe we can find a snake somewhere around this cave. But this is definitely a food source for some of the snake species found in these areas. Right here, basking on the rock. I just want to be careful because I'm sitting here on the edge. It's a newborn baby puff adder, tiny little baby. You've got to remember they're just as venomous as the adults. Just a lot less venom, but could still cause a fatal bite. Tiny little baby puff adder. Look at this. Look at the tongue flickering. First time he's ever encountered a human. Born this year. He's still got the bubble head in the front. Now these baby puff adders are born live. Look at this cute little fellow. He has no idea. Whoa, just want to be careful. You don't want to get bit. Even by a baby. A newborn baby is born lethal, with its fangs fully developed and its venom glands fully developed. Look how it's sniffing, sniffing, sniffing. Who's this new character? Never smelled this before. You can imagine, when you've just been born, everything is a new smell to you. So he's trying to work out, is this guy a predator? Or is he just an irritation? And at the moment, yeah, it looks like he thinks I'm just an irritation. A perfect location, yeah. All these rocks and gaps. The mother will go under hiding, she'll stop eating, she'll give birth to all these babies, and then these babies from day one are left completely alone. So somewhere in this area, there might still be a couple of them. But if you have 20 babies that are born, you probably only have 1 or 2 that will make it to adult. So out of all those babies, not all of them make it. Most of them die due to predators like birds of prey, other snakes, a variety of different things. Even these small little puff adders can get taken down by big spiders, baboon spiders, and giant centipedes. So they're quite vulnerable when they're small. And he's just trying to move away. He's coming out to bask. You can see there's water in these rock caps, so he could be drinking water. He's now looking to hunt. He's looking quite skinny, so he looks like he actually needs to eat. So he's obviously out on the hunt looking for something to eat. It's nothing like a newborn snake to get your day going. They are just spectacularly cute. And look at that little tongue coming over the ridge, sniffing, sniffing. Oh my, it's just such a privilege to find them. I never get over finding newborn snakes, because you will not believe on a newborn puff adder like this that the fangs can be so large already. This will work. So there's a lot of misinterpretations and people that believe that a newborn puff adder is not venomous, it's not dangerous. They're all
born venomous. All snakes that are venomous are born with venom and fully developed fangs. So that is a complete myth that they're born harmless. I'm just going to very gently grab him behind the head. I don't want to hurt him. There we go, I got you. Just to demonstrate the size of these fangs. You're going to get a shock. Actually, when you see the size of these fangs, look at that. Look at that, there's actually venom coming out right now. Now you can imagine that's a newborn puff adder and it's already at that size. So it has no problem piercing my skin with fangs that size. So born lethal with a very potent venom, because from day one it doesn't have support from its mother and needs to go out and hunt for itself. Gently fold it back. See that, it's incredible. It's actually a double fang on the one. So snakes always have a backup fang to replace the one. In case they shed one or the one breaks off, they always have a backup fang for the one in front. So they're never fangless. Now put this back, look at that. That is incredible, the size of that mouth. Put them back gently, and a puff adder this size will catch all kinds of small rodents. I've even seen these small puff adders go for small frogs and toads as well. But their predominant prey is small striped field mice out in these rocky cliffs. See if he wants to drink some water. Truly amazing, and I'm going to let him go on his way, and hopefully he can grow to be a 1 meter puff adder one day.
Forests only cover 0.25% of all surface area in South Africa. Many species here can't be found anywhere else in the country. In a small pocket of green on the east coast, rainfall is high and the humidity is palpable. Wildlife has adapted to survive the temperature and the tangle of trees. Neither the treetop nor the forest floor is safe. This is the Rolls-Royce of snakes, the Gaboon adder. Also known as the butterfly adder, due to its geometric patterning. A master of disguise. Beneath the dappled light of the forest canopy, it blends seamlessly with the leaf litter. Once invisible, it waits in ambush. The Gaboon adder is the largest, heaviest viper, with the longest fangs of any snake on the planet, measuring up to a staggering 5 centimeters. Unlike most vipers, the Gaboon adder does not release after biting. Injecting as much as 1,000 milligrams in a single bite. The highest dose of any snake on Earth. Bites have been compared to being boiled in oil. Cytotoxins rapidly destroy tissue, resulting in necrosis, gangrene, loss of limbs, and death.
Gaboon viper. You would think a thick-bodied snake like this will be able to glide across the water with such finesse. This is still a young Gaboon viper. They can get much bigger than this. They can get close to 1.5, 1.6 meters and this thick. Be very wary. His fangs are definitely large enough to bite me through the pants. That is beautiful. Look at that, wow. Absolutely beautiful snake. He came out to drink a bit of water and move across and find another spot to sit and wait in ambush. Fully grown Gaboon viper could easily catch something the size of a small vervet monkey, small fowl like guinea fowl. They're famous for taking all kinds of big prey. Even recorded a small duiker has been recorded by a fully grown adult. Look at that, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this gently. Look at, I got him behind the head. Largest fangs found on any snake in the world. Look at that. Look at the size of that already. And this is not even close to a fully grown snake. We call these hinged fangs. So they fold back like switch knives. You see, it folds back into the mouth. The fangs are actually too large, so it folds back. Their fangs get so long that they can actually bite through their bottom lip and get my finger on the back. So you've got to have a pretty good grip. But look at this spectacular snake. Look at the scales. It's just a beautiful, heavy-bodied snake. And they sit here and wait in ambush. So he'll swim across here, maybe climb up on the side to find some nice leaves where he'll completely camouflage and break up. Now, these snakes pack a very potent cytotoxic venom. The venom is so potent that if you get bit by this snake, you're going to wish you were dead because of the amount of pain you're going to be in. It's a tissue-dissolving venom and lots of scar tissue and a lot of pain. And you can imagine with fangs that size, the amount of venom he could pump directly into your arm. So not a snake you want to get bit by. Reluctant to bite. Obviously, if I harass him too much, you get a nasty bite. But if you're gentle, and look, if I put him down very gently, he'll just go on his way. Now he's checking me out. He'll just move off. A bit confused, look at that movement. He just wants to move off. And what I actually want to do before he swims down this channel is I actually want to take him out and show you his camouflage capabilities. Just gently, just if you're very gentle like this, they settle quite nicely, look at that. One of Africa's most feared vipers, the Gaboon viper. Incredible. Just checking me out. You have to be aware though, he's still got that powerful bite. But I'm gentle, I'm calm, and he's settling nicely now as well. Truly one of the most beautiful venomous snakes as far as the deadly creatures in these forests go. Look at that, just stunning. Yo, sniffing me. I'm gonna put him here in the leaves, and you'll see how he breaks up right away. Look at that. He actually becomes one. And you can imagine he'll lie here in ambush, you cover him in a bit of leaves, you see how he breaks up right away. Look at that. Just look at the colors on him. He's giving me a little tiny bit of a huff there, but he's quite calm with me coming close to him. And you can see how I can lie right next to a snake with fangs that size. And look here, just a gentle rub along the head. Look at that. He's actually loving that. Look at this. All these snakes, if you gently look how he's lifting his head. Look at that. Now he's huffing and puffing. Can you hear that? That's a huff. Just like the puff adder, they've also got those large nostrils, and he's warning me now. Incredibly fast strike. These markings in the sun is just so beautiful. By far the most beautiful snake you can find in the forest. And as far as the vipers in Africa goes, by far the most deadly viper found in Africa. There's nothing that compares. And a fully grown 1.5 meter Gaboon viper is a formidable predator. And even at this age, goes up here into the roots, hides between these dead leaves. A rat runs past here, he picks up the central, he lunges out, strikes him with those massive fangs. It's amazing how these deadly animals, if you're very gentle with them like this, how you can pick them up. They've got the power to kill you, but they don't want to abuse the power. And time again, these incredible primitive animals prove that they are not actually there to kill you. They've only evolved that venom to kill prey, and that's it. And as a last defense, they will bite and inject you. But as long as I'm gentle with them and I'm not using any force, you can pick them up. But you have to be aware that they still have that power. But just look at that. What a beautiful snake. And a truly humbling experience working with the massive vipers of the forest.
Kurt's quest isn't over. In the wilderness, miles from medical help,
Sprayed me again.
with nothing but his bare hands,
My green mamba is incredibly venomous.
eye to eye, with the deadliest snakes in South Africa. Wildlife expert Kurdt Greenwood is in search of the deadliest snakes in South Africa.
There we go. Yo! No anti-venom for the snake.
Miles from medical help, with nothing but his bare hands. Will the risk outweigh the reward?
Yo, he just sprayed me.
Where there is water, there is life. During the rainy season, barren landscape becomes littered with pools of blue. In these brief months, fresh water is readily available and life flourishes. An array of species congregate here to prepare for the mating season. Predators follow to feast on the spoils. Wildlife expert Kurdt Greenwood is on a quest to find the deadliest snakes in southern Africa. He has been studying thanatosis in reptiles, a form of aggressive mimicry whereby the animal surrenders and plays dead in an attempt to avoid being eaten by predators. He's eager to demonstrate the behavior.
Wow, Cape crag lizard. I got him. Oh. These guys run off like nothing, just like this, and he's gone underneath the rock here. Incredibly vicious reptile hunters. You can see a powerful jaw to bite down and be able to grab things. Now, importantly with these lizards is they've got incredible vision. They have to be able to spot birds of prey or other animals that come and try and catch them, and also favorite food source of some snake species. When you normally come from behind, they don't see you properly, but they do have what we call a pineal eye on the back of the head. See, he's displaying his mouth, telling me if I get any closer, he's going to bite me. Now, they've got quite a powerful bite, and normally when they bite on, they hold on tight, and they don't let go. But you see, not too overly aggressive. If I overpower him, I'm very gentle, I pick him up. Very gently, I'm not constricting his movement much. And I turn him over, very gently. Look at this. Now I rub him. The only soft part that this lizard has is its underside. So it's completely soft and vulnerable. On the top, it's hard and spiky, but the bottom is soft. Now look, now I'm gonna rub him gently, just very gentle along the bottom. Look at this. You can actually see his heart rate slowing down. Look at that. That's playing dead. The scientific word for it is thanatosis. It's a state that they enter. It's like a primitive instinct that kicks in. The theory is that if he plays dead, I'm hunting something that's alive and running, I would leave him alone now because he's dead. I don't want to eat something that's dead. I want to eat something fresh. So that's why they do this. They play dead so that in the hopes that if I walk off now, they'll jump up and run away. And most animals that hunt live lizards only eat stuff that it's alive. So if they play dead like this, they will leave them alone. Look, if I flip him over gently, and there he's awake again. Open the mouth, he's fully aware of what's going on. When I look close up to the scales, you can actually see how the scales are arranged. This black obviously helps him attract the sun. So it's got quite a lot of black all over the body to help because the Cape can get quite cold. So up here in the mountains, he needs as much darkness to attract the heat to warm up this body so he can go hunt. So it's very important. All of these different colorations is here to help him camouflage. You can see the yellows and the orange to help him camouflage on his terrain, these lichens that you see on the rocks. And then you can see the black helps him regulate body temperature, and then he's got these spikes on the legs and on the tail to help protect him when he runs into these cracks. So many unique little adaptations that these lizards have to be able to survive out here, and they're very successful and do very well out here on top of the mountains. The first couple of years of these lizards' life is very difficult because they're really small, and there's a lot of things that eat them, but once they get to this size, they're quite wise. Look at that, look how cute he is. Incredible animal, and a predator in its own right, and a food source for many. We're not here to harm you. Look at that. Yeah.
I'm following a track of a mole snake. And they live out here in the dunes hunting all kinds of small rodents, but their preferred meal are those golden moles that live in those small mounds. During the middle of the day like it is right now, mole snakes like to go hide in the shade, either going underground or hiding in the thickets, because they're a pitch black color. They will actually overheat if they have to stay out during the heat of the day. I can hear something huffing. And you can see the sand moving. He's actually burrowing under the ground. If I let go of this tail now, the snake's gone. All I have is this little bit. So you can't even see where the body is. You could step here now, a rat or something can run past and the snake will lunge out and grab it. Incredibly well camouflaged. Wow. And he's still burrowing. Actually quite a big snake, he's quite fat already. There's little cut marks on the body of the snake. As the males fight in mating season and they actually slice each other with their teeth and actually leave these big rings along the body. So if you find a mole snake and you find these rings, these cut marks, you know it's a male. Mole snakes like this can live out here in the dunes comfortably 10 to 12 years. So I'd say this snake is probably about 3 years old, 2.5, 3 years old. Look at that. 1 meter Cape mole snake. These dunes are actually alive with animals.
The Cape cobra. Widely regarded as the most dangerous cobra species in Africa. Also known as the yellow or copper cobra, this species ranges from butter yellow to dark brown. Though it inhabits a smaller geographical range than most African cobras, it thrives in a variety of habitats and has been found in altitudes as high as 2,500 meters above sea level. In these wetlands, they prey on flightless birds, rodents, amphibians, and other snakes. In spring, during the months of September and October, they become more active, more aggressive. Breeding season. Mating becomes a deadly dance. An older suitor may well be looking for a meal. They produce a syrupy, neurotoxic venom, drop for drop, the most potent of all African cobra species. If bitten, assisted respiration and at least 10 vials of antivenom are required for treatment. Symptoms include weakened muscle control, slurred speech, and ultimately respiratory failure. Without treatment, the victim could die within just 30 minutes.
And here we go. I've just found a track of a snake. You lose the track here, but here I pick it up again. You can see once again how the snake's pushed off. Clear sign of a snake moving. Look at this. Clear indentation of a fat snake. I'd say at least this thick have gone down here. Could be a Cape cobra or a mole snake.
Many have mistaken cobras for mole snakes, and vice versa. Countless mole snakes have been needlessly killed. Many humans have suffered potentially fatal bites. With snakes, one cannot afford to make a mistake.
Look at that beautiful hood that it's making. Exactly what I've been looking for. Cape cobra. A beautiful salmon color. These Cape cobras are the most venomous cobra found in Africa. Almost equal to the venom of a black mamba. I'm quite excited about this, because I want to try and safely put the snake into a state of thanatosis. Incredibly potent neurotoxic venom. Only 15 milligrams of it's needed to kill a fully grown adult. Now this snake this size could easily produce up to 200 and 250 milligrams of venom. So comfortably it could kill up to 10 adults, easily. And that venom hits your nervous systems and shuts everything down, and you start struggling to breathe, and eventually you die from respiratory failure. Not incredibly painful, but a very, very scary bite. He's smelling me. He's telling me, don't hurt me. Well, look at that. When I give him a gentle rub, there's no aggression. He's not opening his mouth to try and bite me. I'm tickling him. Look at that. Just a bit of a tickle along the spine. Potent enough venom to kill a buffalo, but gentle like a kitten. It's just amazing. They're so misinterpreted, these snakes. People just think they're pure evil and dangerous. Yes, they have a very potent venom that can kill very easily, but they don't want to waste that venom. It's very important to them. They use that to kill all kinds of rodents and things out there, so they don't want to waste their venom on me. So only as a last resort, if I went in here now with aggression and I hurt him, then he will bite me. But if something attacked me and hurt me with aggression, I would also bite them. So it's the same thing. Even though it's the deadliest cobra in Africa, they actually got not too bad of a temperament. And it's just showing you right here on the dunes, out here in the Western Cape wetlands, that even these cobras, and he's lived here for maybe 8 years or so, is actually not as aggressive as they come across. He's just telling me, please leave me alone. I want to go on my mission, hunting rats and rodents and living my years out here. And they can live up to 20 years comfortably. Oh, a gentle rub on the back of its head, all along the spine here like this. You can see its breathing slowing down a little bit. This is not harming the snake in any way. It's just awakening a primitive instinct. I'm not using any force, just a gentle rub. Just a gentle touch all along the body. He's still got a hood, but he's almost down to that state of thanatos. It's just one last rub along here. And Africa's most deadly cobra is passed out. Look at that. He's out. Just made that massive hood, try to bite me, go crazy, but with a gentle approach, just touching him along the body, kicks in that primitive instinct that tells him that he must play dead now. This animal has overpowered him. Truly amazing. Truly amazing. Africa's most deadly. And even give him a kiss. That is amazing. You didn't think you could ever do that with something this venomous and this dangerous. So, let's give you a tickle. Come. There we go. Wake up. There we go. You arrive. Beautiful. Fully back. A beautiful Cape Cobra. See, he's not even striking at me at all now. It's almost like me and him have become friends. It's making the hood, but he's taking a nice little scratch on the back. It's really cute. You see there? He's almost become like a puppy. Okay, I'm gonna leave you alone.
In the hills, Kurdt finds a rare lizard with a special defense mechanism.
Armadillo girdled lizard. Now you can imagine if you're a snake, one of the venomous snakes like a Cape Cobra, that would try and eat one of these, will come along, try and catch him, and what he will do is he'll bite into a ball. This doesn't make for a delicious treat. Very rough, hard spikes. So I've seen this with my own eyes, where a Cape Cobra would come and try and grab one of these lizards, and as soon as they bite onto their tail, and the snake tries to find a place to swallow it, he pushes, and then the lizard will roll down the hill and disappear into a crack. So one of the truly most amazing evolutionary traits for lizards, to have evolved this capability to use their rough scales like this, to bite onto a tail and then actually roll out of harm's way. It's just one of the most wonders of this planet. How spectacular is that? Look at the tongue coming out, flickering with the tongue, smiling, still just want to jump into the water. Look at that. Incredible. Young water monitor lizard. Now these lizards are famous for killing venomous snakes. They've got a semi-immunity to the venom of even snakes as deadly as cobras, mambas, and they will tackle and overpower and eat just about anything that moves along these waterways. Africa's largest growing lizard. And they can live comfortably for up to 15, 20 years. So you can imagine when this lizard's fully grown, like 10, 12 years of age, it can be easily 1.5 to 1.8 meters in length. You can see that flat tail used to swim in the water, used to propel him through the water. He just wants to go back into the water. But he's settling nicely now in my hand. If I come close here, you'll see he'll open the mouth, warn me. Now, the next thing is, once they're inflating the throat and the biting, and he hasn't been able to get into the water, what is his next step? He's going to play dead. So when I expose the underside, look at this. When I expose his underside very gently, just so he thinks he's been exposed, look at this. His tongue is still coming up and now his heart rate's slowing down. Look at that. Playing absolutely dead, even sucking in the air to make him look even more dead. Look at that, incredible. Why do they do this? Why do they play dead? Why do they go into the state of thanatosis? Because the underside is unprotected. He's got ribs and scales on the back, but underneath, once this is exposed, then he's very soft. It's actually soft skin. So he knows he's very vulnerable now. I'm a big predator, I've overpowered him, and now look at how he's sucking in the air in his throat to make him look absolutely dead. It's incredible how well they play dead. It's just amazing. Look at that, even turning the head a bit to the side. But his eyes are still open. Now remember, lizards have eyelids, so he's not completely dead. He's still watching what's going on. So it's almost an Oscar-nominated performance, but I can still see. Look, he's looking at me. Look at that. So if I put my finger or something close there, whop, he'll bite, and I would be bleeding all over the place. Yeah, it's a really, really nasty bite. and incredibly powerful as well. So even at a small lizard at this size, still not an enjoyable experience. If I flip him over, I'm going to put him on the rock here before I put him down in the water, and you'll see how he wakes up. Look at this. Tickle him a bit on the back. He can wake up. Look at that. Hey, he's waking up again. You see the breathing is back to normal. He's like, hey, what's going on here? Look at that. You know, a bit of a scratch. Wow. You're all right. Hey, nah. Oh, wow.
The Rinkhals. Their name means ringed around the collar. Females of the species give birth to live young and are therefore not classified as true cobras. Though like cobras, the Rinkhals will spread its hood and may spit venom when threatened. However impressive this may seem, this snake best performs when all its aggressive avenues have been exhausted. As a last resort, to prevent being eaten, it plays dead. This stellar display should not be taken lightly. Even when visibly incapacitated, it can bite if disturbed anymore. Feeding predominantly on frogs and toads, they can often be found around water.
Right there in the water. Some Rinkhals. I can see it clearly. I'm not going to get any closer before I put on some goggles. Otherwise it's going to spray me with venom. I'm at about 3 meters now. He could spray me. And very easy to identify quickly. I can see the banded marks across the body and that cobra-shaped head. Even though the Rinkhals is not a true cobra, because it gives birth to live babies instead of laying eggs, it still makes a big broad hood and it can spray venom up to 2.5 meters quite accurately. But the difference between a Rinkhals and, say, a Mozambique spitting cobra is the Mozambique spitting cobra can spray while it's not in hood formation, but the Rinkhals has to stand up to spray its venom. It's actually under the water, under this old piece of rotten sheet of metal. God, I got the tail here. Yo, look at this, I got him. Famous for spraying, so let's see if I put him down what he's gonna do. Yo. No, he just sprayed me. Oh no. Got a good dose in the mouth there. The venom is not dangerous in the mouth. Only if you have something like a stomach ulcer. But in the eyes, incredible burning sensation. You can go blind if you don't treat it. Look how tall this Rinkhals is standing. Wow. If I get any closer, he's going to try and spray me again. He's going to drop the hood forward like that and he'll spray venom. Look at that. Yo! Yo! Sprayed me again. Yo! I normally aim for the eyes, but he's getting me a nice dose into my mouth. Yo, he's standing so tall. Yo, look at how alert he is. What a spectacular snake this Rinkhals is. Look at that display. That's half his body length off the ground. Only giving me a little spray every now and then if I get too close. Yo. Now if I put, yo, sprayed me again. Now what I'm going to try and do, if his spraying doesn't work and his hood doesn't work, then he plays dead. want to do is I'm going to put my hand on the back of his head. Look how aware he is. What a snake. Yo! I'm spraying at my shoes. What a spectacular snake. They come and hunt, yo. They come here to hunt frogs. They'll eat rodents, frogs, even sometimes other snakes. But there's a lot of frogs around here, and that's obviously what he's come to hunt. And he's not allowing me near his head. Look how aware he is. Yo! That speed, that awareness. Such a fast snake. Just a touch. Look at that. Just a touch. He rolls over. He plays dead. Look at this. Right here in the mud. Touch him there. The mouth will open. Look at that. The mouth's open. He's dead. Dead snake. I can still feel his heart beating. But to all purposes, he's dead now. How incredible is that? Just one touch, nothing more. Just picked him up mid-body and he's out. He can't help it. It's just that instinct that kicks in. And the Rinkhals is famous for this reaction. The ultimate in thanatosis. They're the best at playing dead. They even secrete a foul smell that smells like something that's dead and rotten. And what does something do when they're dead? They lie upside down and their mouth goes open. And look at this, the mouth goes open. Look at that. Look at that. Incredible. I'm going to put him in the water. Look at that. Incredible.
All snakes are adept swimmers, and these wetlands could host a variety of species.
You wouldn't even know. You'd walk here and step on him. If this terrapin had to bite my toe, I would be in a world of pain. And he would lock his jaw on it. But look here. Oh, look at that. That is incredible. It's fully grown. It's quite old. They're about 1.7 inches when they're born, so tiny. So this is a fully grown adult. And probably easily 15 to 20 years of age. Look at that cute little face. And what he's doing now is he's actually secreting a foul-smelling odor to make him smell horrible, so I wouldn't want to try and eat him. But just the power in these hind legs is ridiculous. And not many things that could take down a terrapin like this. Look at that. Wow. And they can snap those jaws quickly. So you always have to be quite alert when you do it. But he's kind of settling down a bit. He's coming to check me out. He wants to go down now. Look at that. Wow. Look at those claws. You cannot believe the strength in those claws. Land tortoise is quite bulky and slow. These guys have got power and speed in the water. When I put him down, he's gone. And how you see how he's settled. He's not pulling his head in as much anymore. Okay, he's now seen, okay, these creatures are not really trying to hurt him. He's actually checking me out. He's actually looking at me now. Look at that. Look at his head coming out. Look. He's smelling me. He's probably never seen a creature like this. But I don't want him to bite me on the nose, because that's going to be a horrific scene. But you can see how he's checking me out. He's actually sniffing me. Look at that. Never seen a creature like this. Well, oh, those claws. Look at that. Look at those claws. Quite privileged to see that. It's so primitive. Look at that. It's flat with these giant claws. And they actually hold on. So if a dead fish or something is washed up onto the side here, he'll use these claws, hold it down, dig into the dead flesh, and then rip with this beak. Rip pieces of meat and swallow it down. And just about 50 to 100 meters from the ocean, you find these beautiful, almost ancient-like terrapins. It's just spectacular. Put the old boy down. Jeez, you're definitely curious, very curious. Smells like a fish.
Look, he's gone. Look at that.
Yeah.
The subtropical forests on the eastern coast of South Africa form an umbrella of evergreen and deciduous trees. This high rainfall region creates a mosaic of plant species, all competing for the precious sunlight peeping through the forest canopy. This breathtaking habitat is one of the last true Edens in South Africa. But even the Garden of Eden had a snake. All is not what it seems. A long, thin vine swaying almost imperceptibly in the breeze. One could reach out and touch it before you realize this isn't a vine. Also known as the twig or bird snake. The vine snake has mastered the art of camouflage. Their intricate markings, varying from mottled brown to green, help them blend perfectly with their surroundings. Perched motionless, it moves almost imperceptibly, perfectly mimicking the swaying of the vine. This is an expert ambush hunter. If lucky enough to spot one, they are easily identified by the shape of their head. Unlike any other snake in Africa, mostly active during the day, they have excellent binocular vision and will readily snatch unassuming birds off of branches, as well as ambushing small rodents or amphibians. Like the boomslang, it produces hemotoxic venom. Envenomation disables the coagulation of blood, causing internal hemorrhaging. Victims bleed to death. Unlike the boomslang, there is no antivenom.
Vine snake, look at the tongue. Now look, when I get any closer, he's going to inflate that throat to 3 or 4 times the size. Look at this. Moves his head like a leaf. So he's completely camouflaged right now. I just saw him because he was moving around. Look when I get closer. Look at that tongue coming out. That is incredible. Wow. Look at that green head, is exactly matching the leaves. His head's a leaf. Look at that, inflating the throat. Incredibly potent hemotoxic venom. No anti-venom for the snake. Stop bleeding out of your eyes, stop bleeding out of every orifice on your body. You've got quite a bit of time to get to the hospital, but an incredibly powerful hemotoxic venom. Look at that. Yo! He just struck at me. The snake means business. Look at that. Yo! Inflating his throat, showing me, look at that, just like a boomslang. These tree dwellers, he's warning me now. He's now in full strike position. Almost like an S. Look at that S shape. S square. He lunges out with the mouth open, makes himself look really big. Look at that. That is incredible. Yo, he's angry. Yo, he's coming for me. Really upset. Gotta be so careful. He's so aware, the snake, of his surroundings. And he's got back fangs, but quite large, the back fangs, so he can easily bite me on any body part. And this snake in particular looks to be not very happy with me being very close. And you don't want to take a chance with a snake like this. If he bites me, there's no antivenom, so I'll have to do a full blood transfusion. He's not overly aggressive, but he's really warning me. When you see that inflated throat, it's like a cobra making a hood. He's telling me, come any closer than this. This is my safe zone here, about 40 centimeters away from him. And he could lunge out, but at the moment he's pretty calm. Even though the throat's inflated, he's still telling me, hey, don't come closer. Look at the mouth's opening. Look at the mouth opening. Yo, he's gonna lunge out at me. Now you have to be really careful. Huffing. He is upset. These snakes can get to about 1.2 meters. He looks close to a meter, so a fully grown adult vine snake. And it doesn't take much of his venom to be dangerous to me. So what the snake will do is he'll hunt down chameleons, small mammals, and even birds. Moving up through the forest canopy, coming down to drink water, just gliding through a forest designed for forest living and tree living. But every time I get close, and he's got binocular vision, you can see the eyes. The pupil is like binoculars, and his vision is incredible. And he can see me in full color right now. So there's no way he's not seeing me. So every time I get a bit closer, he inflates the throat. And he's calmed down now. But as soon as I touch this tail, as soon as I get close to the tail, look at that. I'm not touching even yet, look at that. And he inflates. Trying to keep him stable. Grab the snake by the tail is really difficult because you're so aware. Okay, this is it. Look at this. I can bite through my pants. The back fangs are large enough. It's like a space off here. He's staring at me. There's so much intelligence in the eyes of the snake. Just the way he's looking at me. Almost from a front on like this. Almost looks like a seahorse. Look how aware he is. Every movement I make, he knows what I'm doing because he relies on his eyesight to hunt. So with snakes like your viper families, they don't rely that much on vision, they rely more on their scent. These guys rely on vision, so his eyesight is incredible. Look at that, you see, just touch the tail. And look at this. Doesn't like that. Some snakes just do not want to be touched. And he's definitely one of those. He's asking me very nice, please, I'm big and fat, leave me alone. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave him be. Very lucky find, a very rare snake. The vine snake is not a snake that's very often encountered, and it doesn't cause too many fatalities. Mostly snake handlers actually get bit by these snakes because the chance of an average civilian running into these vine snakes are very rare. And as you can see, even though I'm within the kind of strike range, he's moving the head. He doesn't want to bite me. He doesn't want to waste that venom.
These forests host a variety of wildlife. Kurdt stumbles upon one of the country's biggest centipedes.
They love these rotten logs and soil. They'll hunt down earthworms and all kinds of other invertebrates, even sometimes catching small frogs and rodents. One this size could easily take out a small rodent. So I want to be quite gentle. They do pack a punch. They do have a venom. Don't want to particularly get bit on the hand by one of these. There we go. Look at this. Yo, it's a massive centipede. In Africa, we get really big ones. And you can see this is easily a 10 centimeter, 12 centimeter centipede. Right in the front, you can see the forciples. And that's why he bites it and injects his venom. Now this venom can cause lots of swelling. You get lightheaded, just have to stay quite focused. I don't know, it's so difficult to predict them. But in theory, all animals, no matter how creepy or venomous, they should all have a soft side to them because they evolved that venom to help them in hunting. It does secrete an odor for defense, but the venom injection is only as a last resort. And look, he's settling already. You can see the antennae, that's how he senses. They're almost completely blind. They can't really see. So he uses that antennae to sense where he's going. Now I've exposed him to the sun and all these different things, so he's freaking out a bit. He is looking a little bit upset with me. And you can see those forciples are massive. You can imagine a bite from this. There's going to be a tremendous amount of pain and swelling on the hand. These two things are just legs, but they look like their tail. Now these centipedes can get really big. You get ones in Africa that can get close to 20 centimeters. And in South America, you get even ones up to 30 centimeters. And one this size could take on a small newborn snake. But as they get really big, they've even been recorded catching bats mid-flight. So formidable predators, incredible animals. And one of the most feared animals on the planet by humans. Lots of African myths where these centipedes will climb into your ear. You can see the forciples, clearly he's warning me now. You can see he's pushed them out. Massive, massive biting apparatus. You'll pinch down like this, and he'll inject that venom, and I would most likely get a massively swollen hand and feel quite lightheaded and maybe even have a bit of a fever. So out here in the forest is not really something I would want to experience, so I'm going to pay him a lot of respect. But look at that, he is actually quite settled down quite a lot now. By far one of the most creepy creatures you can find out in the forest. And this is what nightmares are made of. But actually, if I look at it in a different light, it's actually quite a beautiful, cute little creature. And look, he's actually almost shy. Look at that. He feels the gentle touch. He's not moving around anymore. It's actually incredible. Wow, look at the size of him. That is impressive. Whoa. They have been recorded catching amphibians, even tadpoles. And you can see actually his legs are so powerful, he can actually grip inside the flow of water. Look at that, I'm just gonna help him on here. Look at the underside, it's so beautiful. There we go.
The green mamba. These graceful serpents are found in coastal forests on the eastern shores of South Africa. They are smaller and more reclusive than their fearsome cousin, the black mamba. However, they are not to be taken lightly. Their venom is a neurotoxic brew. Dendrotoxin, produced exclusively by mambas, is the fastest acting of all venom varieties. The onset of symptoms is rapid. Swelling around the bite, nausea, dizziness, irregular heartbeat, convulsions, difficulty breathing and swallowing, and ultimately, respiratory paralysis. One bite can kill 10 men. Without immediate medical attention, death is inevitable.
Green mamba, basking in the sun. Got him. It's a pretty big boy who's close to 2 meters. Incredibly potent neurotoxic venom. He's aware that I've got the back of his tail. The green mamba is incredibly venomous. A very potent neurotoxic venom. Now all of these mambas, you have to give a large amount of respect. Especially out here in the forests, where you're far away from medical help. One bite from the snake, and there would be a lot of trouble. What these green mambas can do is they will open their mouth, and they'll give you a warning, and they can even flatten the neck. He's just trying to move off. Trying to grab him, yeah? Look how strong this body is. Easily a 2+ meter snake. Look at this. Okay, I've got him, yeah? Okay, just try and pull him into the stream here so I don't want to fall. Look at the length of the snake. That is incredible. Look at this. Easily 2 meters. Try to be so aware of them, his movements. He looks pretty settled. He looks like he just wants to get away. Look at the strength in him trying to pull. Just trying to get away. Hasn't shown me. Just don't. Let's pull you out there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh, it's opening his mouth. He is upset. He is upset. Let's just let you settle down. Yo. Okay. Okay, let him just settle a bit. Doesn't actually want to face me and look at me. He could turn back now. This is quite risky, but I'm going to see. I've never attempted this before.
to try and pick them up mid-body like this. Green mamba, one of Africa's most feared snakes. He's obviously just freshly shed and he still has some old pieces of skin left on the body there. That is incredible. One of Africa's most deadliest. Reading his body language, he seems to be pretty settled, so that's why I can kind of get away with this. But I'm very aware and very alert. Look at that, that is incredible. All he wants to do is move away. Green mamba. Look at that. Wow. And when I get closer to him, check, he starts opening the mouth there. Look at that beautiful snake. That is incredible. Not even trying to turn back and bite me. He could, he has the opportunity, but he just wants to move away. Now, green mambas will hunt anything from birds, small chameleons, rodents along the waterways, even frogs and toads have been recorded. But actively up here in the trees, they'll hunt down birds and swallow them whole. And with that potent neurotoxic venom, they just need one bite and that bird's not getting away. You can see he's just catching the sun now. Look at the beautiful scales. He's actually got yellow, blues, so like iridescent green. And he's just shed freshly. I'm gonna try something that I've always wanted to do since I was a young boy. Is try and put my hand on the back of a green mamba. He's very focused, he's looking at me eye to eye right now. Now, I believe with any snake, if you come in slow enough and gentle enough and that snake has learned that it's not an aggressive animal trying to attack it, you can touch them on the back of the head. It is a highly risky thing to do and should never be attempted, but it's one of my big passions to prove. Look, he's already getting alert to me coming closer. Just gently try and get behind him there. The vision on the snake is incredible. We go into a trance-like state together. I just want to clear this branch. It's just a bit risky. He could bite me right now if he wanted to. Look at that. So tricky. I'm going to have to come underneath here and face him head on, which I didn't want to do from this height. So aware. He actually looks up with those pupils. Look how he turns his head sideways. Oh, looking at me, looking at me. Just give him a gentle stroke so he feels my touch. Yo.
Kurt's quest isn't over.
Not only is he big, but he's highly venomous. They are known as old world tarantulas. So they're more venomous than the tarantula species you find in South America. He is spraying venom for Africa right now. He is spraying venom. Oh! Sprayed me again!
With nothing but his bare hands, will he survive the touch of death? Kurdt Greenwood has trekked deep into the wild in search of the creatures we fear most.
That inky black mouth with that coffin-shaped head does strike fear.
Using nothing but his bare hands.
Black mamba.
Facing the most venomous snakes in South Africa. Can he prove they aren't monsters? In a secluded valley on the eastern coast of South Africa, nestled in the foothills bordering the Indian Ocean, this tiny band of subtropical forest is one of the few places left untouched by humans. Here, plants on the forest floor wrestle for the few precious rays of light that stagger through the canopy above. In summer, rainfall is high, transforming trickling streams into rivers. Humidity rises and life flourishes. Between the tangled roots, swaying vines, and an endless supply of water, wildlife here has forged an idyllic existence. But peace is never long-lived. The forest cobra. Reaching lengths of up to 3 meters, this is the largest of all true cobra species in the world. It is only outsized by the king cobra, which is in a genus of its own. Herpetologists consider it the most intelligent of cobra species in Africa. Should you meet one eye to eye, you'd agree. It has fixed front fangs and a lethal cocktail of cyto and neurotoxic venom. Averaging 500 milligrams in a single bite. Though reluctant to bite, if provoked, it won't release unless forcibly removed. If bitten, enormous doses of antivenom must be administered. Victims suffer agonizing pain, necrosis, and respiratory failure. Those who survive are scarred for life. Kurt's passion for nature has compelled him to find the biggest, meanest, deadliest snakes in the country. He's trekked deep into the wild to advocate the lives of the creatures we fear most. Snakes. He hopes that by risking his life to venture closer than most would dare, he can prove that these creatures aren't malicious and won't bite unless hurt or provoked.
Look at this. It's a monster forest cobra. This is 2.5 meters easily. One of the deadliest animals, period, found in Africa. Coming for a drink of water. This is an apex predator. Look at that. And again. Wow. Just trying to move away. He is so powerful. Yeah, I got him. Yeah, he's so strong. Look at this. Yo. Gotta stay so focused. One bite from a snake this size is almost equal to that of a young black mamba. There's so much venom in the head of a snake this big that he could take out something the size of a young buffalo. So slippery on the rocks here. Oh, he's coming towards me, making a hood. So strong. So strong. Get a stay here. Yo. Look at that. Even on top of the rock, the snake.
It's massive. Yeah. He's almost too big to handle because he can curve back. He can get me right now. One big muscle, a deadly muscle. Not only is he big, but he's highly venomous. Look at that. Yo, it's making a hood of me now. I've always wanted to lift one of these up. The body and see if I can get. Look at that. It's like incredibly potent neurotoxic venom. All it takes is one bite and you will die from respiratory failure. Wow. That is the most amazing moment of my life right there. Designed to live here in the forest. I mean, a snake this big is easily 18 to 20 years of age. And they're quite shy and elusive. They will move through the forest. No one will see them. Just like a ghost of the forest. A truly incredible snake, and by far one of my favorite snake species in the world. Only really the king cobra gets bigger than this forest cobra. And the king cobra is almost in a different family of its own, so almost one of the world's biggest cobra species. And it just lives out here in the forest. Look at that. Oh, look how strong it is. Look, if I stand absolutely still, it's going past my leg there. If it wanted to now, it could bite me. It's quite a nerve-wracking experience, but look, as long as I'm calm, all you want to do is move away. Yeah. Such a powerful snake and designed to climb. You just feel the strength in this body. Look at, oh! That is amazing. Look at this. I'm trusting him with my, oh, look at that, making a hood, warning me. Oh, he's so big. Look how he glides through the water. Also designed to just swim through water. Just the ultimate forest liver. Look at that. That is just incredible.
The Bushveld. Vast expanses of grassland to the northeast of the country. This is Big Five territory. Before the summer rain, larger game species trample the thirsty land into dust. The harsh African sun burns onto the barren soil. With little shade, reptile species risk overheating. But a clever little serpent has evolved a solution. Right on the tip of its nose.
Shield nose cobra. Check it. With his little tail burrowing under the sand. Before I pull him out, you can see that rough scale tail. Almost like a gecko's tail. And some people actually believe they wiggle it to attract their prey. Look at this, burrowing under the sand. Look at that, wow. Not as venomous as the true cobras, but venomous enough for me to have to go to hospital. So it obviously attacks your respiratory system. You can see he's very alert. It's quite warm, he's out hunting, and they use that little snout there to dig under the sand. Look how cute he is. Very fast. So These small snakes, stocky little snakes, are very fast, almost like a little pit bull. When they bite, they inject quite a lot of that venom. Okay, buddy. He's so cute. He actually digs his nose down and allowed me to scratch him. Look at that, look at that. Look at him, look at him. Pointing his snout down for me there. That scale on the front of his nose, it's like a shovel. What they call the shield nose cobra. They've got that big shield on the nose and actually use that to dig. And in the mouth, they've got short little fangs and inject that neurotoxic venom. Feel him under my leg. It's just very interesting while he's burrowing away. This tail, it's incredibly rough. It's a rough, ooh. Doesn't like me playing with his tail. But a completely different scale feeling, the tail to the rest of the body. The rest of the body is quite, he's looking at my leg there. It's quite soft, it's smooth scaled. A beautiful, sweet little snake with such a short little stubby face. Look at that, how close he's coming to my hand and not even reacting. He's just trying to burrow. Probably move off into the shade there, get out of the sun.
In an area bordering a pine forest in the north, Kurdt finds one of South Africa's largest spiders.
This is Africa's infamous baboon spider, one of the largest growing species of spiders found in Africa. Now they love to make burrows underneath tree roots where they'll wait in ambush for any kind of insect, small lizard, or even sometimes centipedes and things like this that come straight too close to the hole, then run out, grab them, inject their venom, and then digest them slowly. So quite a creepy crawly, and these baboon spiders do pack quite a vicious bite. They are known as old world tarantulas. So they're more venomous than the tarantula species you find in South America. Normally that kind of vibration sends them running out. If you go, oh, look at that, coming out. You can sense me. Yo! It's a big spider. Look at that. Africa's largest species of spider, the baboon spider. Gotta be so careful, but incredibly big fangs in the front. Don't want to get bit. This is quite a risky spot. Yo! Okay, it's just getting. Can't really control him. See if he'll climb on. Look at that. They actually have almost like a baboon-like print in the front. And that's why they call them baboon spiders, because it looks like a little baboon's hand. Look, he's just trying to get away. They can be very aggressive and they've got incredibly powerful fangs in the front. And you can see them there. It actually has a bit of a red spot. So it's red and black underneath to warn that they're dangerous. Oh, I don't like this. Here we go. Gotta be so careful, because these baboon spiders are also famous to have quite an aggressive side to them. But I'm trying to be very gentle and subtle with her. Look at that. That is incredible. I'm giving her full power once again. Such a primitive animal, giving her all the power in the world. If she wants to right now, she can sink those fangs in and I'll be in a world of pain. And they are powerful, powerful predators. They can take down small mice. They can take down even small birds. So this one is not the biggest you can get. You can get one that's bigger than my hand, but she's a very, very good sized spider. Look at that stunning spider. And those eyes, I'm gonna check you out. It's actually a beautiful thing. You can look at things in two ways. You can look at it and see, dangerous, ugly, weird creature, or you can look at all the magnificent traits, all these beautiful hairs, all the little prints on the ends of their feet, all the eyes, the big beautiful fangs, the black and red underside to warn animals. They've evolved so many interesting characteristics. And I like to focus on those things, rather focus on the beauty of these creepy crawlies. Look, she gave me a bit of a warning, lifted up the front. But as long as you're gentle with any of them, and you show them no danger, they're actually sweethearts, way sweeter than most humans I know. So a really, really spectacular animal, primitive, but still have some sort of consciousness. And they don't want to bite unnecessarily. And that's maybe a lesson us humans can learn from these primitive animals. And I'm gonna let her go on her way so she can live the rest of her life out. A truly amazing creature, and it's always a privilege to work with these primitive ancient creatures. Look how she's holding on with that leg. Now let her go back in her hole. Wow, what an amazing creature. And she'll sit there and wait until something comes past. Jump out, grab him, inject that venom, but only use that to feed herself. There's no vindictive hunting or killing stuff for no reason. It's only to eat. A truly beautiful creature.
Though commercial forests take up just over 1% of the total land area in South Africa, nearly half of all pine forests in the country can be found in the northern provinces bordering Mozambique. On the forest floor, carpeted with pine needles, there is plenty of room to hide. These cobras are so common in the northern regions of South Africa, locals call them imfezi, the Zulu word for snake. Due to their sheer numbers, confrontation in this region is inevitable. 80% of victims have been bitten in their beds, the snake slithering between the sheets to seek warmth. They prefer rocky, sparse terrain like the grasslands, but are adaptable and can be found wherever there is prey. Though considered nocturnal, they will bask during the day to digest and charge for the hunt come nightfall. They will eat almost anything smaller than they are, insects, toads, and rodents, as well as other venomous snakes. Like all cobras, when confronted, the Mozambican spitting cobra will rear up and spread a hood, making it look bigger, more formidable. If that doesn't scare off an aggressor, it has an effective weapon to prevent it getting any closer. It spits with disturbing accuracy. They have excellent vision and will aim for the eyes. Massive venom storage means they will spit again and again. Without water to rinse it out, the victim risks permanent blindness. Their venom is predominantly cytotoxic, with additional neurotoxic effects. Cytotoxins cause severe pain, destruction of tissue. Neurotoxins shut down respiratory function. Without medical attention, writhing in agony, the victim suffocates to death.
Definitely a Mozambique spitting cobra. No doubt about it. Look at the tail disappearing. These guys are the best spitters found in Africa. Gotta be quite careful. He was out basking in the sun, and then he spotted me and he moved away. Quite gracefully, very graceful in their movement, but kings when it comes to spitting. You don't get a better spitter than this snake. And they cause most of the venomous snake bites in southern Africa, these Mozambique spitting cobras. They're very common. They're quite tough, they stand their ground, and they prey on quite a variety of different animals. If they spray into an open wound or a cut, you could have problems. If they spray you in the eyes, you can go blind if you're not treated and washed out thoroughly for at least 20 minutes or so. And I'd still recommend you go to hospital to have it checked out, because you don't want to end up with a blind eye. So that defense of spraying venom is a very powerful weapon that they have. It gives them a tremendous strength, almost more than a black mamba with speed, because within a 3-meter range, that snake sprays you, you're in a world of pain, and you can't see. And that's animals as big as lions have been blinded by these Mozambique spitting cobras. So a formidable, formidable snake. I'm gonna try and lift this up gently. Looked like quite a big one. I didn't see it properly, but it was definitely a Mozambique spitting cobra. Just hiding away. He hasn't quite noticed that I've come in here. Highly venomous snake. Okay, he's making a bit of a hood. See if I can move this log. Okay, move this log. Look at that beautiful shine that he's got. Mozambique spitting cobra. It's quite a healthy adult size. They normally average at about 1.2 meters. So this is a fully grown adult, and it looks like a male to me. It's got a sharp little tip tail here. Now these Mozambique spitting cobras are very famous for having quite a bad temperament. He's actually quite settled, just trying to get away now. If the getting away doesn't work, then you'll... Oh, yo! Look at that glide. It's making the hood. It's making that hood. Yo! She sprayed me! Okay, it's on my arm. You see, tries to get away, and then if that doesn't work, he sprays his venom. Now, he got me on the arm. I am quite sensitive to the venom in my mouth. I have been sprayed before, so I'm not too keen on getting sprayed in the mouth. But let's just try this gently. He's just trying to move away. Unlike your Cape cobras and Snouted cobras, they don't stand their ground for very long. Just goes like this. He doesn't even have to make a big hood. He can go and just spray. Just a small movement. It's all it takes. You gotta be so alert with these guys. Oh, he sprayed me again. Spraying and spraying. Okay, I'm fancy. Not too overly aggressive, just giving me that warning spit every now and then. Just catch my breath here, but incredible animal, demands so much respect with that power to spit. You can almost relate it to like a dragon that breathes fire. You can see where all those myths come from. Dragons that spew fire. This is like fire. If it hits you in the eyes, it burns. Look there, look at that. Oh, he is spraying venom for Africa right now. He is spraying venom. Oh, sprayed me again. He's meaning business, this snake. And it's understandable. I've really pushed my luck. Look at that, look at that. Now he's standing his ground. He's finally standing his ground. Oh! He gave me lots of chances to leave him alone. So this is not out of aggression. And this snake is really famous for being very aggressive. Actually quite a sweetheart. Just doesn't like me messing with him, and that spray. He's got a 3-meter range. He knows that I'm constricting his tail. Turns around and gives me hell for it. Let me go, or I'm gonna punish you with venom. Oh, venom all over my hand. Oh, he sprayed me there. Serious amount of venom. Look at this, my hand is actually shining. Look at all that venom on my hand there. Droplets everywhere, and all it takes is one of these drops. And I'm actually burning a bit from that venom. Where's the snake? Just like that, they can disappear. Look at this. One of Africa's most deadly snakes disappeared right here. Someone comes and steps here, he doesn't see. Look at him, he's coming up here. As soon as I come close, he sticks his head out. And they're very widely distributed, so you can understand why they cause most of the bites in Africa. And even for experienced animal handlers and people who work with them for many years, they're still a handful because of that power to spray venom. It's not pleasant to get it in the mouth, and it's not pleasant to get it in the eye. It won't kill you, but it completely puts you off. And that's what they need. They need you to leave them alone just for that couple of minutes so I can get away. It's not an aggression. It's just, please leave me alone. I don't want to fight. That's all it is. So actually quite a sweetheart, actually quite shy. Look how aware the snake is. He's actually tilting his head back. Oh, got me good there in the mouth. Now he's fine, his final ground. I've got some on my shades here as well. Look at that tremendous amount of venom there. Look at that thick, syrupy, thick colored venom. That is a lot of venom. That is a tremendous amount of venom. That's all it would take to kill me. And that is crazy that it could be so thick and syrupy. It is amazing. Okay, I need to just clean this off a bit. You can imagine if I didn't have any glasses on, I'd be in serious trouble. And look how he's just sitting his ground now. He's tried everything in the book. He's tried to get away, didn't work. He's tried to spray me, it didn't work. He's tried to hide, I reopened him up again, and he's still just standing his ground. He hasn't bit me, he's warned me. I pushed my luck more than I should have, and I think I'm gonna go on my way. This is incredible how alert the snake is. Yo! That was truly a remarkable experience. And even though he's got all that power, he sprayed me, it was all just a warning. It was never the intention to kill me or really even harm me. He doesn't think like that. He just wants to be left alone. I was the enforcer there. He did absolutely nothing wrong. He is a beautiful, amazing animal, and they deserve to live happy lives and don't need to be killed just because they spray venom and they can cause blindness. They don't want to do it. It's just as a last defense. And he showed it beautifully and remarkably that he is not actually over-aggressive and truly a spectacular animal. And I was really honored to work with him out here in the forest.
Reptiles and insects often seek shelter under rocks. And Kurdt leaves no stone unturned.
Beautiful burrowing scorpion. Look at that, giving her all the power in the world. If she wanted to now, she could sting me. She can sense she's on me. Trying to hide under my hand. Look at the size of the scorpion. And you can imagine one this size, the amount of venom they would inject into me. But even these creepiest of primitive crawlies, no matter how primitive or how scary they are, they're actually quite sweet-natured. And these burrowing scorpions are famous for being very aggressive. But she's completely sweet, a real sweetheart. Haven't really even hissed much at me, maybe a little bit, but completely settled, staring me down the eye. They don't have very well developed eyes. They rely mostly on their senses, and she can feel me. She can feel my movement and my vibration. Look how beautiful and spectacular she is. It's really a privilege to have an ancient creature like this walk on your hand with the power to sting you with such a powerful venom, but actually not even using it. And all the little sensory hairs all over every leg, so she can feel every little vibration on the ground. It's just a really spectacular, beautiful and amazing animal. I'm going to put her back and hopefully she can have some babies one of these days. Now the trick is to get her off your hand without upsetting her too much. Just make with your rock back again. You can go under your rock. It's got to be the biggest spotted harlequin I've ever seen in my life. By far the most beautiful venomous snake found in Africa. No other snake is this beautifully colored. And it's a really unique species of snake. And one this size is easily 5 or 6, even older years old. And not much is known about their habits and how long they live, because they don't really thrive in captivity, because they only eat prey such as legless lizards. And they've got small front fangs that can give quite a powerful bite. And a snake this size, you could imagine, could be quite dangerous. But very gentle snake. Actually completely settled in my hand. He's not showing any sort of anger towards me. Old snake has lived out here comfortably for many years. Almost looks like someone has spray painted him orange on here. No sign of any aggression. Very small little eyes in the front, which indicates it doesn't really use its eyesight. It's got very poor vision because it's hunting under rocks for legless lizards most of its life, so it doesn't really need a good eyesight. It's got a good sense of smell. That forked tongue comes out, catches the scent particles in the air, brings it back and processes it in the roof of his mouth through the Jacobson's organ. So he's smelling away. He's smelling me there. And normally what snakes do, all of them, if you bring them close to your face, you'll see they actually come and sniff you. You can actually smell. There, you can see. It's like,
It's like an unfamiliar smell to him. So he smells. So snakes have certainly a level of curiosity if they've never encountered a human and all these different smells that they've never smelled before. And I'm not mistreating him, so he's quite gentle and settled. He doesn't see me as a predator anymore. I'm gonna put him down and let him go on his way.
The Port Jackson willow is an invasive Australian species which is threatening to take over indigenous vegetation in South Africa. It matures rapidly and its seeds germinate after fire, outgrowing most other species. Efforts to eradicate them leave large areas of land bare and with little room to hide. No other snake in Africa compares. A foreboding coffin-shaped head. The black mamba. So named for the inky black lining of its mouth. Its sleek olive grey body, comprised of pure muscle, can grow to lengths of over 4 meters, the longest of any venomous snake in Africa. If confronted, its first option is to escape quickly. It bolts away at speeds of up to 20 kilometers per hour, the fastest of any snake on land. Predominantly neurotoxic, which causes respiratory failure and asphyxiation, its venom also contains cardiotoxins, which arrest the heart. Dendrotoxin, found only in the mamba species, is the fastest acting of all venom components. Symptoms caused by this sinister cocktail manifest so rapidly, locals call it the two-step snake. Legend has it one would walk no further if bitten. The truth is no less chilling. No one has ever survived a bite untreated.
Black mamba! Got it! He's trying to get down into a hole down here. Yo, this is a big mamba. Yo, he's made eye contact with me because he's making that hood. He's giving me... It's a big black mamba. Look at the size of the snake. Gotta be so respectful of a snake this venomous. You can see they're part of the cobra family with that hood that they make. Look at that. Wait, whoa. So aware, so alert. One of the most intelligent snakes in Africa. Come on, black mamba. Try and get around the front here. Ah. Okay, he's made eye contact with me. I feel kind of safe. He hasn't been too aggressive. Actually, funny thing is I can actually see that there's a bit of a milky secretion over his eyes. He's shedding. So normally these snakes are even double as aggressive when they're shedding. One of Africa's fastest moving snakes and the most venomous snake in Africa and the most feared, the black mamba. Now he's obviously been staying inside this pile, coming out to bask in the morning sun to warm up. Might even be a female that's laid eggs. It's difficult to tell, but quite settled. Quite an old snake, quite big. Yo. Okay, he's very aware of what's going on. You can see how he makes a bit of a hood. How he's looking at me, he's climbing back up the pile. when they're shedding, they can't actually see that well. Hey, yo, you see that mouth opening? That's warning me now. They show the inky black side of the mouth, and that tells me he's meaning business. Get away or I'm gonna bite you. A neurotoxic venom, drop for drop, one of Africa's most venomous, and when they bite, they always inject venom, large quantities of venom. So what I want to try and do is just try and calm them down, just to prove that even Africa's most feared snake actually has a sweet side to it. Okay, it's showing off that mouth. It's actually huffing at me. Now this snake could strike at me right now. It's got the range. I could strike about a meter in front of them, but she's kind of focused on just looking at me. But you have to be so careful with the black mamba. This is such an impressive moment to sit this close. A bite from this snake in the face or on the neck, you're almost guaranteed to be dead. So she's got all the power right now. These are perfect places for mambas to lay eggs. It's nice and moist, it retains the heat, the fermentation creates a whole process of heat and humidity in there, perfect for eggs. So what they'll do, they'll lay the eggs, they'll come and bask on top here in the morning and go back inside here. And that's obviously what she was doing. She was coming out to have a bit of a bask in the sun and warm up. By far the world's most feared snake. She's a very alert, very thinking, a calculating snake. Trying to calculate what's the next best move. Look at the length of the snake. Hey! You can see she's very aware of my movements. There's a big hole on this side where she wants to try and get down. I'm gonna try and pull her out here. But you'll see she knows I've got her by the tail now. Try and slowly pull her off. Look at the size of her. Easily 2.5 meters in length. Look at this, she can back up on her own side. So even if I was using a hook stick or a stick, she could still get me. Look at that, making the hood. Look at that, coming to give me an attitude. Look at that. Ooh! Touch on the back of a black mamba. Only the cobra family you can bring down and put them to sleep. You can see the touch just awakened it to be a bit more aggressive. Okay, let's just gently move you out. Giving her, don't want to be cornered. She's still huffing, just warning me. Actually been completely sweet. Now she's checking me out. So aware. As soon as the hand comes within that distance, she gets upset. Even though I'm so close to her, she could strike out. Oh. You see that jerky movement? Mambas are famous for that movement from left to right. Look at that. Didn't even open the mouth this time. See, just like any other snake. She's starting to get used to me already now. Opening the mouth. Whoa, whoa. Look at that. You can see she's quite intimidating. She's opening the mouth, telling me that she means business if I push it too far. But other than that, she's quite a sweet lady. Just try and gently touch you on the tail here. Look how aware she is. Yo! That's incredible. And that inky black mouth with that coffin-shaped head does strike fear. I've worked with all of Africa's most dangerous animals, and the black mamba does demand a lot of respect. The reason they demand so much respect is because that one bite can kill up to 15 grown adult men. And they always inject venom. And before anti-venom was made possible, it was 100% fatality when these snakes bite you. And that's why they're so feared right throughout Africa. You can imagine if you live in a rural area in Africa and you got bit by a snake like this, there's almost no chance you're going to make it to hospital. And if they bite you in a main artery or something like that, you're dead within 5 to 10 minutes. So that power alone demands a lot of respect. And when they're born, and they're born roughly between 40 and 60 centimeters in length, they can already kill a fully grown adult as they come out of the egg. Phenomenal snake. Fast moving, intelligent, great eyesight, and they can live up to 20 years comfortably. So incredible specimen. And they can grow record sizes of up to 4 meters. We'd say this one's about 2.5, going on 2.6 meters. So she could even get bigger as she gets older. So you're looking here maybe at like an 8 to 10-year-old snake. When she gets to 18 years old, she could be almost double the size. You have to remember, snakes never stop growing. They just grow less and less as they get older. So she's defending her tail. She feels like there's no point in us moving away fast, so she's defending her tail. So there's no way for me to grab her tail now. She's in a perfect defense position here. So she's defending all sides. You see, no matter what angle I come around, she's got me in her eyesight. So if I come from the front here, look at that movement, look at that power in the body. That is incredible. Oh! She is incredibly fast. You can see that speed. Why are they so famous? It's just a warning. Look at the throat, how she's inflating it. Just warning me. Just warning me. We're making the hood there. Look how she lifts her body up off the ground. Just like a cobra, but 20 times more agile. And almost like a spring-loaded coil that can shoot forward. And you can see that movement there. I cannot grab her. If I grab her by the tail now, she'll get me. It's also all about reading, and look at that movement. All she wants to do is move away. Look at that, yo, she's turning on me now. I trust in her so much that she is not actually over-aggressive. She doesn't want to go out of her way to kill me. The only time people get bit is when they try and kill them, when you corner them and they have no way to escape. Then they turn around and they bite. But she's just warning me at the moment. She's inflating the throat and telling me, please leave me alone. Actually, such a small animal can kill something the size of a lion or a buffalo. So that power makes it one of the most feared animals that's ever evolved on this planet. She's so aware. It's all about focus. Look at this. Even though I'm pulling her tail slightly, because I'm so gentle, she's noticed me. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. Yo. Look at the length of this black mamba. I'm 186, so you can imagine easily 2.5 meters. I've always wanted to lift one up off the ground, unsupported, just to show. Look at this. Black mamba. Yo. Gotta be so aware. One bite is all it takes. You can see now she's starting to move. Look at that. Look at that. What an impressive snake. Look at that. Look at that. Black mamba. Such a... Whoa. Gotta be so aware with her on. Look at that. Just like any other cobra, she went into that state. She's completely calmed down. You almost put them in that trance. Look at this. I'm actually giving her a rub on the head. That is incredible. She doesn't even see me as really as a threat anymore. Look at that. How incredible is that? From showing me that inky black mouth, realizing, calculating that I'm actually not at risk, I haven't harmed her, she's completely settling down. I've dealt with all of the deadliest snakes in Africa, some of the other deadly critters, gone to some of the most dangerous areas where there's buffaloes walking in, and this is the most dangerous of all of them. And with that danger comes a high level of intelligence, and you can see this snake understands something more than, for instance, like a puff adder or some of the other snakes. And she's realized that I've come with her with a good energy, I haven't been overly aggressive, and all she wants to do is go bask and go back into her pile and maybe lay eggs, or maybe she has already laid eggs, I don't know. I'm not gonna go dig there or disturb too much. She's given me a spectacular moment. The reason these snakes end up biting people is because they hurt them or they corner them and then they bite out of fear. And you have to remember, each snake has its own personality. So this black mamba, this female, originally looked like she was a bit aggressive, but she's actually quite a sweetheart. I haven't hurt her in any way, and that's why I've gained her trust now. And you can see, look at this. If I come in gently, Look at that. I can rub her. Now look at it, if I use a stick and I make a fast movement in front of her, I'll show you the difference. Look at that. You see, just that touch of the stick on the back there, and she got aggressive. I come in with the hand, no stick, gently. Absolutely still. Gave her all the power and all she wants to do is move away. Look at that. That is impressive and I want to leave her to do her thing. This was an amazing journey from the deadliest to the smallest and they have just incredible. And look, she's going right back to her pile while she'll live the rest of her life out and hopefully have lots of babies. What an incredible animal and what an incredible journey this has been.
After months of searching, Kurdt managed to find the deadliest snakes in South Africa. In his quest, he learnt that thanatosis could be induced in species not known to display the behavior. He had a few close calls where he knows he pushed it too far. He learnt that some snakes just don't want to be touched. He even shared a few tender moments with species widely regarded as aggressive. He hopes these close encounters have helped change the negative perceptions we as a species harbor for snakes. Reinforce the fact that they will not bite unless hurt or provoked. That we can appreciate them for their beauty and the vital role they play in maintaining the delicate balance of nature. His bare hands unscathed, he continues to work towards the preservation of the creatures we fear most.